8 key players got hurt week 1 of the NFL season around the league. And obviously more than 8 people got hurt during week 1. But these are 8 guys who are now out of their starting lineup, and it's going to really impact their team. Now, if your team lost a key player that I'm not going to mention here, feel free to write in. I am constantly paranoid that I can't keep track of everything. I do my best I can. I literally, I don't sleep. I have notebooks. You can see it behind me, notebook, everywhere. They're all full of notes. It's insane. And I'm constantly paranoid about missing information. So if there's someone, hey, I forget on this list, please write it in, because it helps me learn. And then anyone who's watching this video on YouTube can look at the comments and get more information. So feel free to write in if there's a person you think I left off of this list. But okay, player number 1. Jets left tackle Makai Becht is out for 4 to 6 weeks. He needs arthroscopic knee surgery, which means basically you have to shove a small camera into his knee and then remove damaged cartilage and clean up his knee. So that's really brutal. Think about that. Common fans need to remember to respect NFL players because their bodies get destroyed. The thought that he's getting arthroscopic knee surgery, and then a month later, Makai Becht is expected to probably play in an NFL game at 300-something pounds on those knees. It's crazy to me to play after that surgery so quickly. So just as you listen to this list, and as you go through the entire year, make sure you give more respect to NFL players in general. And now number 2 and number 3 are both 49ers players. So player number 2 is 49ers corner Jason Verrett. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year. It's really rough to lose a starter week 1. Again, unfortunately, the 49ers lost 2 of them. Jason Verrett, their corner, and then number 3, their running back, Raheem Mostert. And I saw someone, it's a horrible joke, they said, Raheem Most hurt. Oh, that's brutal. I hate to make fun of the guy. I'm not trying to, but that is a weird play on words with his last name. Raheem Mostert has chipped cartilage in his knee. He's out for the year. And as a result, the 49ers are bringing in former Ryan's running back, Kerryon Johnson, and adding him to their team. It's kind of a weird thought. Against the Lions, Raheem Mostert gets injured, and that in turn gives an opportunity for a former Lions running back, Kerryon Johnson, to get on the team. It's just a weird coincidence there. Number 4, the Broncos also have 2 starting players out. Number 4, Denver Broncos receiver Jeudy is out 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Now, this is one where there's actually a bright side. It could have been much worse. Watching the game live, you watch that Giants game, many people thought, it looked for sure like Jeudy broke his ankle and shattered it. You're like, ah! So hearing that it's just a high ankle sprain, you're like, oh, it's only a high ankle sprain. That's a big relief. Good for Jeudy in a weird way. You're like, okay, it could have been way worse. Number 5, the Broncos also lost their corner, Ronald Darby. He has a hamstring injury. He's out at least 3 weeks. He's on the IR. And he could miss more time than that. They said they'll go week to week after 3 weeks. As a result, though, rookie first-round pick Patrick Surtain, who was drafted number 9 overall by Denver, I believe, and that's out of my memory. I'm pretty sure it's 9 overall. They drafted him ahead of Mac Jones and instead of Justin Fields. So Patrick Surtain is now a starter. That's great. I think it justifies picking him. I really hope he does well because Pat Surtain could be an amazing player, have a great career. And then Broncos fans still might their whole lives be like, we could have had Mac Jones, we could have had Justin Fields, and we drafted this guy who's a good starter, but certainly doesn't have the impact of a quarterback. If you pass on a quarterback for a guy who's not as impactful, that guy better be a Hall of Fame player. So Patrick Surtain, in my opinion, is in a really tough spot. He's on a quarterback-needy team that didn't draft a quarterback. And now, we'll see how well Teddy Bridgewater does, but I really just hope that I find myself rooting for Pat Surtain, if no other reason other than he wants to justify he was drafted and it was deserving. Number 6, Lions cornerback and former number 3 overall pick, Jeff Okudah, is out for the year. He has a ruptured Achilles tendon, and it sucks. He's a guy who had... Jeff Okudah had a lot to prove. He had a bad rookie year last year, a brutal, awful, terrible year, and now he's out for the year this year, so he's going to have to wait until next season to prove himself, and many Lions fans are already calling him a bust, so just unfortunate Jeff Okudah out for the year for Detroit. Number 7, massive impact on this one. Washington quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick hurt his hip in week 1 against the LA Chargers. And Fitz will be out 6 to 8 weeks. That's a long time. He will come back week 8 at Denver, or more likely, I think, in my opinion, week 10 against Tampa. Week 9, Washington has a bye week. It's a great time to bring back your guy. He's got a week off to rest and practice a little bit, then come back and play the next week, week 10. That's a good timeline, I think, to expect Ryan Fitzpatrick back. If he's really healthy and they're losing and they need him back immediately, maybe he comes back week 6, but I think it's more, or week 8 against Denver. It's more likely he'll come back week 10 against Tampa, in my opinion. Now, it sucks, dude. I had high hopes for Ryan Fitzpatrick. I thought he was like poised to be exactly what Washington needed at quarterback, and now he's going to miss a massive chunk of the season. He's 39 years old. It could be damning. It could be the end of it. This could be the last year of his career simply because he's shown he can't be available. So next man up at quarterback for Washington is Taylor Heinicke. He started, remember, the playoff game against Tampa last year and did really well. Had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 throwing. He almost beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And imagine if the Buccaneers lose to Washington in the playoffs. The cascading effect, like you probably see Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl instead of the Buccaneers. And I mean, like the impact that had if Washington almost won that game, and that was because of Taylor Heinicke. Now, because of that game and that game alone, he got a 2-year contract, $4 million something, like pretty big for a backup quarterback, actually. Very good for him. And now he gets another chance to prove himself. Like, was that a fluke, that one game? Or is Taylor Heinicke actually a good quarterback who could potentially be the future of the Washington football team? We'll see. I'm rooting for him to do well. I want to see Taylor Heinicke do very, very well. He plays on Thursday Night Football. Washington plays the Giants this upcoming week in week 2. Should be very, very fun. Now, finally, number 8. On Monday Night Football, the Raiders starting guard Denzel Good is out for the year after tearing his ACL. That's a brutal thing. Really exciting win on Monday Night Football, but losing one of your starting offensive linemen, that puts a cloud over the victory for sure. So again, write in with any important injuries you think I left out. There might be a guy or two that I can't get. I do my best, and I really try to be very professional. I work my absolute tail off. But if there's anybody I missed, write in, let me know. One honorable mention, for example, is Browns left tackle Jedrick Wills. He injured his left ankle, and he's day-to-day, though, so I don't know if he's actually going to miss any time. We'll see. I expect him to play in week 2. But if there's anybody you think I left out, feel free to write in.